Man, it looks like Steve's going on for a boxing match. What's going on,
So, yeah.
everybody? Welcome back to the next, or to the newest episode of Fear the Hive 1155 podcast. This is my co-host Stephen Howard, and I'm Dominique Gowens, and we're here for some pontificating.
Is that what we're doing today? I didn't know that's what
Yes.
we were doing.
Yes, pontificating.
I'll take it.
Always up for pontificating.
Always up. What a ooh, a lot of pontificate about that. Well, thank you guys for being here. We ask that you like and subscribe and share, follow us on social media. Dominique has us everywhere on social media, so like and subscribe, follow, so you can get the notifications when we are live, and hopefully when we both have more time to do social media stuff, we can, and you can get our content there as well.
Oh yes. Yes.
Dude, what the freak is happening in the world?
A lot of craziness. It was actually big news here in Charlotte.
Man,
Very big news.
Like, if you didn't hear, I don't know how you didn't hear.
Right.
But Charlotte had 4 police officers killed yesterday.
Yeah,
Served a
yesterday.
warrant as part of the task force with Federal Marshal Service to go and apprehend someone who had a gun that shouldn't have had a gun, apparently. And they got there, and they were apprehending him, and someone else in the house opened fire, and 8 police officers were shot. 4 of them have passed as of this morning. I don't know what's happened since then.
Yeah.
But the world is, everybody's up in arms. And I heard like 8 schools were on lockdown yesterday.
Yeah, all the schools in the area were on lockdown. And that's just normal. Not that it was, an active shooter or them worried about it. It's just when things happen in the community. Because like even like buses, they had to be rerouted. So the kids that did get on the bus, they had to be rerouted, from their normal bus route. So it was definitely a time. I mean, granted, it happened more so on the east side of Charlotte, but it was felt throughout the entire city of Charlotte.
Yesterday was a day for nobody go anywhere, nobody do nothing.
Yeah, and honestly, for the families that were affected, our condolences definitely, and our prayers are definitely with you guys, because that's an unfortunate situation that did not have to happen in any way, shape, or form, and something that I did not even like. It was so big that even this Mecklenburg County government put out a post on Facebook, and I don't even read those.
We heard about it here. Like, I didn't hear about it on the news. I heard about it on socials here in Texas. Like, it's really big. And our prayers were out to the families of the officers that died because life was lost. And I'm
senselessly.
I'm somewhat conflicted even saying that, right? Not because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that lives were lost.
Right.
It just, the very thought of being saddened because a life was lost, I think should be a ubiquitous feeling, right? Like it should be a ubiquitous, like it should be a feeling that everyone can say, oh man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And the problem that I have, and maybe nobody else has it, and it's okay if no one else has this problem. My problem is that for as much as we are sad that a police officer was shot and killed, I don't see it as a police officer being shot and killed. I see it as a human being shot and killed. And I think that we should, our concern for the family, for the victim, for those that were involved, should be because that person that was shot and killed was a human, not because that person was a police officer. And I think if there was that kind of reaction anytime someone lost their lives to violence, then I think there would be more of a consideration given when someone that gave their life in service gave their life, right? Particularly as it pertains to police, right? Because it seems like when police kill people, nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. But when police die or get killed, everybody seems to care. And I think to myself, all of them are human.
Yeah.
All of them breathe air, all of them have blood pumping through their veins, and it's a tragedy anytime it is. It just so happens that everybody wants us to post, back to blue now.
Put more value on a police officer's life than a suspect's life.
I mean, I and then blue, just not bad. You know what I mean?
Well, Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
and then
these
also
guys,
there,
no, go ahead.
yeah, that also in the Charlotte group, there's like a Facebook group that I'm a part of, and I'm an information guy, so I get information from all sources really. And this group is sharp. I'm not actually going to expose that. But
Good job.
you know,
Good catch.
one of the things that they were saying is that if you say anything about the officer, you know, condolences to the officer, I'm removing you from my page right now. I'm like, that is so backwards thinking. That is such black thinking. You know, because the whole
Well,
narrative of
I ain't gonna
it's
say black.
police officers versus black people.
Well, the thing that what makes me upset is it's not even police officers just versus black. It's literally police officers versus everyone. And
True.
you know, people try to make it a black issue.
But
But
now, so here's my thing. Is there any correlation to the income level and those kinds of thoughts towards police officers?
those kinds of thoughts,
Yes.
well, probably. And I can tell you why. Because as your income level increases, the need for you to protect property and
Mm-hmm.
assets increase. Therefore, the police become a function or a tool of your wealth, right? Like if you're a business owner, your relationship with police is completely different than someone.
Top notch.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I understand that. But that particular correlation, if you set that next to the same type of correlation as to who police officers violently handle, like it's not the same. Like they're gonna violently handle whoever they can get away with violently handling, no
Yes.
matter what degree of violently handling it is. And so you get to this point where you go, because you know, you and I are at a point where we have assets to protect, right?
Yeah.
And so police are a function of, at least in theory, not even in theory, historically have been a function of protecting assets, right? Just so happened that when they were created, black people ain't have no assets. So they were a tool of whiteness, right? But now black people have assets, so we actually have need for that protection, not to
Yeah.
mention or even set it aside them as a function of protecting or being a part of a system of justice. You know what I mean? Like you even
Yeah.
take
And
the justice component out of it, they're there to help you protect your assets. So
yeah, and
I get
it
that.
was just annoying seeing that because I was just like, and because that's the correlation that I immediately made. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you're and this is not a knock on anybody, but just like how we made the correlation there, where it's usually income driven as your mindset as to the police. You know, honestly speaking, if you don't have a 401k, don't have a house that you're paying for, you know, lower income side, you're like, oh yeah, well, why the police always got to be, you know, the police is always on me. I'm like, well, no, technically that's just a way of thinking. Like if you're sitting there doing stupid crime, smoking weed and doing, you know, just dumb stuff, yes, they're going to be on you. That's just the way it is. If you're not,
But it,
you know,
here's
there's certain
the thing.
situations where that's not particularly true, but just the fact that this person made this comment, I was just like, that, I mean, no regard for the fact that, you know, the police officers were human. There's a reason why that person is probably getting served, and the paranoia from the other suspect as to why they started firing was absolutely insane.
Okay, so I can play this both ways, right? Like black people and people of color are over policed, period. Point blank, period. No matter what the income bracket, but specifically the lower one. And if you
This is true.
juxtapose the lower income bracket versus the higher income bracket, you find out that black people and people of color are highly, highly over. And with additional interactions comes additional police based issues, right? Point
Okay.
blank period. Like that, to me, anybody that's not willing to accept that as a fact is living in a fantasy, right? And I get it. There are a whole bunch of people, white, male, rich, right? Some even black
Yeah.
people that have no frame of reference for that reality, but that's reality. That is reality. Where we run into an issue is that we want to be able to have this entity called the police do the right stuff and not the wrong stuff, and they're frequently doing the wrong stuff with impunity. And it mars the ability for even well-meaning people to see, past, a situation like this. Like, I want to be there, and I want to be like, because if I'm looking at these pictures correctly, at least one of those officers I was in a room with, dancing with. Oh, I would say probably in August, or not in August, like April, May. Like, I went to the police officers' ball, like when they give the awards to police, and I gave the invitation day, right?
That's
So I'm
pretty
there.
cool.
I'm there with the mayor. I'm there with the representatives. I'm there with the police. I'm having a good time. I have a love-hate relationship with the police. I do, right? Not necessarily from personal experience, but from experience of others.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at this picture of this guy that died. I'm going, I'm pretty sure I have him in a picture. Right? Picture that I took, I have him in a picture. So to say that I'm sad would be accurate. But here's the catch-22. If bad police were no longer police, then every police that got hurt, injured, or killed would be mourned like the hero they are supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, if the instances of police using excessive force were 10% and not 50%, then anytime anything happened to a police, we would be mourning like we mourn when soldiers come home in casket, right? And so, I'm not begrudging anyone that is saddened by this, because you should be saddened by it, right?
Absolutely.
But there's a picture that's bigger than just this. And I hate whataboutism. I hate whataboutism, right? Especially when the whataboutism is not a one-to-one. But if we're talking about human beings being hurt, injured, murdered, killed, to me, it seems like, at any rate, it was right.
One of the things that was talked about, especially during the pandemic, and some of those shootings and those killings of the from police officers to people like in Minnesota and some of those other areas and whatnot, like Breonna Taylor and all that. It would be interesting if police officers had to carry malpractice insurance, just like a doctor has to.
It'd be different if police had to carry malpractice insurance. It'd be different if the settlements for police malfeasance came from the retirement fund. See, here's the thing.
Ooh.
The only thing that moves the needle in America at this moment is money.
Yeah.
If you can't tie people's actions to money, there will be no change. There's no more shaming people. There's no more forcing people unless you're going to be violent. The only way that you can rationalize with someone to change their action, especially at an organizational level, is money. And if police had to literally, that's what most people don't get, which makes me absolutely furious. Everybody goes, well, the police had to do it. Police had to do it. No, clearly the police didn't, because there are courts of law that have said the police have gone too far many a time. And to avoid going to courts of law, police and police unions have settled out of court to prevent things from going to court. The only problem is when they settle out of court, they use my tax dollars to pay the settlement. So you're telling me I'm paying twice over for bad cops, because you're taking my tax money when you're paying their salaries, which I'm okay with. Pay them their salaries, pay them a high salary, put a high bar for being a police officer. I'm cool with that. But now you're taking my tax dollars again, and you're paying for the bad cops to do bad things. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
And I might add, paying for the bad cops to do bad things, to keep the bad cops on the force, and then make all the good cops, because I know a bunch of good cops, look bad.
Yeah, that sucks for the good cops, because it's just like, they're catching strays for absolutely no reason when they're just doing their jobs.
I mean, I won't divulge into the systemic nature of, or at least comment on the systemic nature of policing against Black people. If I assume or presume or begin from a place that says that I have the same opportunities as everybody else, and I should be able to stand up and say flat-footedly and wholeheartedly that I don't want any bad cops on the police force. Bad cops are like bad pilots. We don't need them. You can't have an airline with bad pilots. You got to get rid of them. You need it. That's it.
Well, and on top of that, the police officers, they always watch their own, regardless whether they're bad or good. If they are bad and they just haven't done anything publicly bad, they kind of just suppress it and just, try to make sure that person does not, interact in a certain manner, so to not, have that situation be brought forth. But then, then if that's the case, why do you have the person on the force if you know that this person is a possible liability? Like psych evaluations should be regular. I mean, and that's just in military as well. Like, anybody who wields a gun or sees traumatic stuff, regardless, like, should be mandatory, like once a month, once every 2 weeks, something along those lines, just so that these people can get these feelings out of there. Like for me, I play Grand Theft Auto, just kind of get it out of my system, move on. And, kind of it's worked for, quite some years. But, some sort of therapeutic release for them is definitely needed, whether it's round table, whether it's one-to-one or peer-to-peer, some system like that needs to be put in place. And I think like the changes that you said, taking it out of the police retirement fund, retirement pension. Yes.
Or literally just holding people accountable. If I assaulted someone, I would not be permitted to own a gun.
Right.
If the same rules apply to police officers, like if we actually prosecuted police officers for assault like we do the general public while they were in the line of duty, and the same rules apply, if you were found guilty of assault, you cannot own a gun, then you can be a police officer. Like, how is that controversial in the slightest bit? Other than the fact that police would have, to me, one of the things that makes this country different from other countries is that it's supposed to have checks and balances to all authority within the country, right? That's generally the way that it's set up. That's the dream that was sold to us when they forced us into Bolton, brought us over here, and then 400 years later, let us go. Right?
Yeah, that salesman was on point that day.
Yeah, look, I know we did you bad, but here you go. We want to let you become citizens, and we got checks and balances and liberty and justice for all and freedom of speech, and don't tread on me. You good. And none of that has come to pass.
No.
And police end up being tools of suppression within a system that's supposed to be for liberation. Right? And when I say this, I'm talking about America, not the military industrial complex. So put that back.
That's a whole nother situation.
Prayers to the officers and their families, right?
Yeah.
I would dare I say, and here's the other part that I know I'm ranting a lot. Maybe if we had gun laws, the guy that shot the police wouldn't have had the gun that he shot the police with. Or maybe if we had bullet laws, because I mean, hey, even if you say we don't want gun laws, well, why don't you have bullet laws, right? Maybe if we had bullet laws, the person that shot the police wouldn't have had bullets to shoot the police with. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So as much as I pin that on the head of the people that were in that house, man, I'll be looking at these politicians like, y'all, this is on your hands.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do you have to have a situation occur with guns owned by people who aren't supposed to have guns, or guns that, quite frankly, just should be illegal? Like, there's no like, how is an 18-year-old, like, you have to be 21 to wield a pistol at a shooting range, but if you're under 18, you can shoot all the ARs you want. I'm like, I get the pistols are more concealable, but allowing people to be able to buy ARs and stuff before 21, like, our soldiers can't even drink until they're 21, but yet you have such like that. You'd sell them a weapon of mass destruction versus a pistol. Like, I'm like, man, whatever.
Look, to me, either we can bear arms or we can't. Like,
okay,
don't we get into that? Like, people say, well, you can't, you should be able to have guns because you said we can have guns. Guys, you said we have to like their arms, right? I would like a flamethrower. Can I have a flamethrower? Can I have a grenade launcher? Can I have a rocket launcher? Right? Can I own a nuclear device? No, and I shouldn't be able to own one. I should not be able to have one at my disposal in usage. So why are we, hemming and hawing over that legislation? Anyhow, from the rabbit hole But look, none of it gets any better. All right, we got 4 officers, 8 officers shot, 4 officers killed, right? Absolute tragedy.
Yes.
On campuses around America, college students are being beaten and arrested for protesting, which, if I remember correctly, they teach in every first year course on every college. Like, you got to take like U.S. history or some crap like that. And the funny, and the sad, it's not even funny. The sad part is, unless you're paying attention, you will have no idea, not only not having an idea that it's happening, how bad it is, right?
Yeah.
Right. For people that don't know, on college campuses, college students are protesting Israel's war with Palestine. They say it's Israel's war with Hamas. That's what Israel says. But we know that Israel's war with everyone that is not a Jew in Israel, right? To either exterminate them or to push them out of Israel. That's what the war is about. They've said it. They've said it. They've said as much. And so that's not in debate. College students are protesting that on campus, and they are being assaulted, arrested, detained. Like, this is nuts. This is absolutely insane. I had a friend of mine text in our group chat today that he knows of a professor of a college in Washington, D.C. Professor is a Jew who was speaking out at a rally against the war in Israel. That professor was censured. That professor had their email taken. That professor had their bio info taken down. That professor was suspended. Like, the Israeli power structure, the Jews in America. I know everybody gets up in arms when we talk about how the Jews own all the banks in America, own all Hollywood. You know, Jay-Z said something about that. Others have said things like that, and everybody goes, "Oh no, that's not the correct. It's not right." Well, Robert Kraft recently said he was going to stop funding Harvard, stop donating to Harvard if Harvard didn't do something about these pro-Palestine protests. Like, they're using their power and influence to stifle free speech. And these college students are out there trying to exercise their constitutionally given rights.
Yeah.
And even if they're not arrested, even if they're not assaulted or arrested, they're being threatened with suspension and expulsion.
Yeah. That's crazy. Just because of Robert Kraft and his money.
But it ain't just him.
No.
He was the one that I remember from last week, because he came out and said
here's my issue.
Quiet part out loud.
But here's my issue. I have some friends who are very deeply into protesting this matter, and you know, they're really good friends. And you know, one of the things that they did what they did
was
to help support the cause was they found out all the major companies that send money to Israel, and they were boycotting it. And I never got a straight answer, but here's my thing. That's all well and good, but you are one, or she and her husband. I'm like, you're two people. I get it. You have all the right to do so. But my question to her was, are you actually moving the needle? You know, if you and your husband are protesting McDonald's, you're not buying anything from McDonald's. Hey, I applaud you. That's cool. But Joe Smo just bought like 6 cheeseburgers and just made up for whatever it is that you were protesting anyway. And then, so my thing was, I get what you guys are doing, but in order to actually move the needle, you need to, and this will never happen, unfortunately, but you have to move in such an organized way that you have the numbers to say, all right, you know, let's say out of how many, like 300, and I know it's more than this, but like 300 million adult Americans. If you had 30 million come up with a calendar of the different businesses and say, today we're not spending our money here, today we're not spending our money here, we're not spending our money here, like that moves the needle. If you can move in such an organized way, like with those kinds of numbers, yes, that would move a needle.
For your friends, as with some people that I know, it's about principle, right? Like, it's about principle. With the college protests, because they're not just protesting the war in Palestine. Right, in Israel and Palestine. They're not just protesting that war. They're protesting the fact that colleges are invested with companies. They invest their trusts in companies that are profiting off the war, which is they're profiting off the war. And what they're asking for, actually, they're demanding, is that colleges divest of those assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you move the needle. That's why, they're being met. That's where there are cops from New York in freaking Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's insane the lengths that power is going through to remain in power, right?
Yeah.
They're like, to hell with the Constitution.
Yeah.
We don't care about it.
They would abolish that. Like, how many amendments there have been to kind of skate around? Yes, the Constitution is quote unquote still in place.
Not even amendments. We just talking about we don't care. We're going to arrest you. We're going to detain you. We're going to do something and force you to seek legal remedy after the fact. That's one of the things that I hate about wealth and whiteness. They do stuff that harm you in the moment, right? And they say, well, if you can get justice, all you got to do is sue. All you got to do is go to court. All you got to do these things. And I'm like, well, how about
court fees, lawyer fees?
Yeah, just not injure me. Prime example: the Native Land podcast. They got 3 hosts: Angela Rye, Andrew Gillum, and Tiffany. She used to be anchor on MSNBC before they fired her, which is why I don't watch NBC.
Okay.
Andrew Gillum was accused. He was running for governor of Florida, right? He got accused of sleeping with prostitutes, right? Got arrested for it. This is after he lost the governorship. Got arrested for it because he was going to run again, and he's probably going to win because technically he won the last time, but the current governor, DeSantis, stole the election because he suppressed votes. Anyhow,
of course,
he got accused. He got indicted. Eventually, got acquitted. He got acquitted, but it cost him $500,000 to get there.
Yep, that's all it takes.
And I'm like, how is this America, where someone can injure you and cause you $500,000 worth of monetary damage with no repercussion?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. The same thing with these college kids. A lot of them have no idea how what they're doing is going to affect their future. Like,
so I see you're applying for this job, and looks like you've been arrested. What were you arrested for? Oh, protesting, huh?
And there's no apparatus to hold accountable people in positions of power that will be punitive and act in a punitive manner towards people in those situations. What if they're going for a job and they're asked this question and they answer it? They were a part of the protest against Palestine, and the person that's there is a Jew, is married to one, and they want to punitively not offer this person a job.
Yep.
Like, these are things that they're going to have to wrestle with in the coming years. The crazy thing about it, though, is many of these colleges, like Columbia, USC, like all of these, but the vast majority of them, aside from being the intellectual elite, because everybody believes of a certain income level believes that college is the intellectual elite. It's not really, but whatever.
No.
But a lot of those colleges are considered financial elite. You gotta have money to go.
Political.
These kids are they come with trust funds and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting in 5 and 10 years when this thing begins to shake out. But right now, it's just bad.
Yeah, this is America, in the words of Childish Gambino.
And again, what makes me angry is Black people tried to tell y'all 4 or 5 years ago when we were protesting. The police misconduct in these cases where they were blatantly abusing their power and killing people, and we were protesting, and y'all were telling us not to protest, and y'all were saying whatever happens during the protest is what you deserve, right?
Yeah.
Completely excusing police misconduct during those protests. Police throwing flash tear gas and shooting rubber bullets at
military grade deterrents
that were protesting. Everybody said, y'all, you're protesting Black Matters, Black Lives Matter. This is what you get, right? If they had listened to us talk, they had listened to those protesters, because only like protest, it was like an hour, and I was like, I'm not not the right age bracket for at this point. If you had listened to those people that were there, I mean, I donated. But no, I mean,
yeah,
you gotta have people that protest, you gotta have people that donate. That's how it works. You gotta listen to the protesters. And you had crafted legislation around holding police officers accountable or civilian review boards, then the police officers would not have the leeway to do what they're doing now. They're shooting rubber bullets at students on the campus of Columbia University in New York City. Rubber freaking bullets. You ever been hit with a rubber bullet?
Nope.
It almost makes you want to get hit with a real bullet. That's how much it hurt.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, Black Lives Matter was not just for Black lives. If you'd have supported us and got us through that one, we would have more than enough to get through anything else. It was a stepping stone for change.
I mean, everybody loves to talk about trickle down economics.
Yeah.
What about trickle down justice? Like, if you had listened to those people that were on the ground telling you what happened to them, and you had provided remedies for justice for those people, then we wouldn't have to worry about it now, right?
The precedences would have been set.
Like, I'm reeling myself back. But yeah, like people told y'all didn't listen. And now, you or your friends or your children or your grandchildren are in protest being assaulted by police. And
now it's a problem.
Yeah, I would love to hear how they rationalize that when the protests were the same. And the issues for both protests are generally the same. It just so happens that we were protesting for our rights and freedom here, whereas the majority of the kids on the campuses that are protesting now are protesting for liberty here and there.
Yeah.
Just here and there.
Much harder sell. They wouldn't even give it to us here. So you want here and there? Oh.
Speaking of Israel is preparing to have a ground offensive in Rafah. And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Rafah, I don't know anything about where Rafah is. I would like to know where Rafah is. But I don't know anything about it other than that Rafah ain't Gotham.
Oh my God, not Gotham.
Okay. So if the initial justification for the war was that Hamas was being held in Rafah, Gaza, that's where they was, and then you invaded Gaza and you couldn't find them, why do you think that invading Rafah is going to find them? Unless the justification is on their pretext for pushing people out of that area.
Well, yeah, and Rafah looks like it is at the very bottom of the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, it's
very bottom.
They bombed every building in Gaza up here. Maybe not every building, but 90% of them. They bombed hospitals, daycares, schools. I heard somebody say there are no schools in Gaza now, right? And there's only like one functioning hospital in I don't know, 30-mile radius or something like that.
That is so dumb.
But they're pushing these people, millions of people, further south into Egypt and risking a world war to do it, and we're just sitting by and letting them. I don't know how much of this the world can take before the world explodes like a powder keg. You know what I
mean? Yeah, I mean, we haven't heard much of it, in at least for me, I haven't heard much of it lately. But
you want to know why?
What, the war in Ukraine?
Because influencing media coverage largely on the side of Israel. I told my wife a couple of weeks ago, you'd be surprised. The vast majority of what CNN was reporting in December and January and February had to be approved by the Israeli army. Think about that for a minute.
That's not right.
You don't say.
That's
they're not allowing independent reporting of what's happened. It'd be like the news just running with Trump talking for. You know what I mean? Yeah. We know that the truth is out there. We just know that you're not saying it. And you're not being allowed to see that saying it. You're not being allowed to say it. And you're just okay with that? I thought you were a news, or I don't even watch CNN like that anymore.
I thought you were a credible news organization. Obviously not.
I remember a time when journalists did things like ask follow-up questions that were hard and printed the truth, no matter who it hurt. for the sake of an informed
that was
audience.
also at a time when nobody owned them like that either.
They did, but not like this. Not like.
Yeah, this world's going to hell in a handbasket.
You gotta think about it. Ted Turner owned CNN for God knows how long, outright, right? Yeah. Ted Turner was not a Democrat. Let's be clear. But CNN was a reporting news agency.
Well, I mean, because also at the same time, CNN is still a media business. So, I mean, regardless of whether you are left leaning or right, I think it's more apropos and, for them to just report the media. Because, I mean, if I would assume that if the more neutral you are, the more viewers you get, the more sponsors you're able to get, something along those lines. So, I mean, to me,
that's a part of my problem with the news. The news is not supposed to be a money-making enterprise. It never has been a money-making enterprise. And when we gave the three large networks the air with the express intent of them providing news for us in the mornings and in the evening. We gave it to them for that purpose. It's like it would be like when news organizations didn't cover the Democratic National Convention or something like that, or congressional hearings or something like you got the airways for free.
Yeah.
The pact was that you provide us with news. When you stop providing us with news, you should have to pay through the nose for this. You know what I mean?
Well, somebody looked at it and said, wait, we're influencing the thoughts of the people that are watching our station. Oh, you know what we should do? We should start feeding them what we want them to think.
What happened was I heard from majority shareholders as to what the kind of coverage should be, and they bowed to majority shareholders again, which is the reason why I don't like all of the news, all of the broadcast companies being owned by large conglomerates now that you can buy into and then influence how they operate. Don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and those are the reasons why, during certain times Nickelodeon is just not on my TV anymore, and I'm pissed. Like, or look, I had a show to watch. Like, what's your problem? Or what was that football game that was supposed to be on that one channel, but that channel was removed, at least for me, for DirecTV, and I couldn't even see the football game. Well, I could see it. I can't tell you how I saw it, but I did see it.
We're not going to think such things that might get us in trouble.
Right. But yeah, so, I missed the whole football game because you guys, some conglomerate was like, oh, we want more money and all this negotiation stuff. Like, why would you do that during football season? But regardless, I mean, for these news stations, they're all on this. What are the big three? It's like Viacom,
Warner Brothers, Viacom, and
yeah. And, that kind of monopoly, you should not be allowed to own that many stations. You just shouldn't be, because
Warner Brothers Discovery, yeah.
Say again?
Warner Brothers Discovery. I said Warner Brothers. That's because of old. I remember when Warner Brothers, yes, Warner Brothers, not Warner Brothers Discovery.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, they should not be able to own that many channels, that many stations, because that's giving them way too much power. Like, it should be, watered down and distributed a little bit better than that, because we're seeing the effects of that now. Like, what does this mean for news coverage in the next 10, 15 years, in the next 5 years, in this next election later on this year? And why do we have presidential elections the same year as the freaking Olympics? Why do we do that?
What? Who is we? We have elections when we have elections. They have the Olympics when they want to have them. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. And aren't they always on the same schedule?
Exactly, but
that's on the same schedule.
But that's what I'm saying. So, putting on my tinfoil hat here, like, why would you have something so emotionally charged during the summer and then turn around and have to vote in November?
You want me to tell you why?
Please enlighten me.
Put on my tinfoil hat. Because the Olympics pulls every country together, particularly America, because it's us against the world. The rest of the world during the Olympics. Patriotism at its highest. And hopefully some of that will carry over into election season where we feel our civic duty of vote. That's my tinfoil.
But then it's also the world's eyes are on each other more, which means, when most people want to destabilize the country, they attack during a transition of power.
Yeah, but that happens. That happens after, way after. So,
Is it way after? I mean, your
Yeah.
spirits are still kind of high from that, because then
Olympics is like in July. We don't vote until freaking
you
November.
have yes, you're right. Olympics are in July. Then you roll right into football season. Then you roll right into the beginning of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a lot.
a
That's
little
a
bit.
lot.
A little bit. I mean, it's a thing to be dealt with. It's a thing to navigate and traverse, a tool for people to be manipulated into not wanting to kill each other. And to be honest with you, as I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of glad, because if we don't get some reason to come together as a country and be like, "Yay, America!" Think about what's happening, because when the Olympics happen, everybody's gonna forget about what's happening in Israel, right? And for 2 weeks, it's gonna be in this country. It's gonna be America. Hopefully, we remember that we're all a part of a democracy, and to at least attempt to preserve. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I definitely hope so too. But this country has, growing up overseas and graduating and then moving over here, you have an idea of what adulthood is going to look like. And I must say, I'm not gonna lie, this ain't it. And I can say that I've been living here in the U.S. I am an American citizen before you guys even start thinking. I've been living here since summer of 2007. So yeah, I'm looking at 17 years now. I want to go home. I want to go back to Germany. I'm out.
Would you like me to continue with my tinfoil hat on?
Please do.
I have this tinfoil hat theory. At some point, every empire, has not been an empire that has not gone with it. Then again, there has never been a country like America. But every empire, it's going to come a time where America ends up being an empire that is on the decline, even if it's not for 200 years, even if it's 50 years. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to, right? And so the question becomes, so what do we do if you're living during the time that America's on the decline? Like, am I going to be able to weather this storm? Do I need to go find another country? Like, I was looking. I have to stop saying like. I was looking, just yesterday, at houses for sale in Italy, in Milan to be precise, for like $40,000. And I was thinking to myself, Italy's economy has already collapsed. Can't get any worse. Maybe I bound upswing.
Why not? I mean, I've been looking at the same thing too. There's a lot of countries that's giving out dual citizenship. They want people to move over there. I know a few countries in Africa is one of them. Their economy and, the dollar goes pretty far over there. I mean, if you're just looking for a house to kind of be like, you know what? I'm going to go hang out here for a few months. A few years, I'm out. I'll see you guys later when you guys get this all figured out. And if not, I'm not coming back anyway. So whatever.
Like, gotta stop saying like the state of the world makes you consider a lot of things. I was looking at a cruise line. I think it was Persian Cruise.
Ooh.
Like,
retiring on there?
No. There are people that live on the Virgin Cruise.
Oh yeah. When you have a work from home job, like, why not?
They live on the cruise. They never come off. They port and then they out. I was like, do the economics work? Because if the economics work, you don't have to have a car. You don't have to have a car insurance, right?
Everything you need is essentially, for the most part, there.
Essentially there. All you're doing is paying on the boat. I don't know. Also, or Costa Rica. Costa Rica is the destination apparently for African Americans looking to work from home and not be in America and have resources to do stuff.
As Costa Rica, as in like third world country Costa Rica?
I want you to take some time. You got time? And look at it. All I'm saying is, I had the very same reaction that you had until my wife was like, take some time and look at it. They got good internet. It's relatively cheap to live there. They got good food, pretty good healthcare system. They don't mess with you. I was like, with their gangs down there, no, you're thinking about the worst parts of Mexico. Or the worst parts of Venezuela, which Costa Rica is neither. I was like, oh, do people really like live abroad?
Right.
The answer is yes. Yes, it's well. Yes.
My cousin who lives in Dallas, he's actually building a house out in Mexico somewhere.
Yeah.
That's where he's thinking about
Yes.
living majority of the time, and then just having his condo in Dallas, just whenever he wants to come back and, visit. But definitely
Absolutely.
living abroad or owning a house in another country, super high on my list. And, I never would have thought that I would have been thinking like that. But the way that this country's going, I'm kind of like, yeah, this is too much for me. I'm 35. I was a baby, but humor me. What was it? Desert Storm. Yeah, Desert Storm. And then it was pretty, and whatever else came with that. I forget some of the other ones, but Desert Storm. Then you had, for me at least, but then you had 9/11. That was like the major event. Then after that, you had Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. Then 2008, the collapse. Then, huh?
Perfect. Go ahead. No. Yep.
Then you had along with the 2008 collapse, the celebration of having a first black president. Then right.
Crazy president.
I mean Bush as well, yeah, and then the rest of that, and then you have the pandemic. I'm like emotionally,
now you got inflation in the highest.
Right. I did, like I'm done. Like I don't have enough. I can't. No.
We've lived more Christ than most generations.
Yeah.
Like there is a finite number of things that people can deal with. It's the reason why they tune out the news, even the good news organizations. Finite number of things that people can deal with. And I don't know about your generation, but your generation is actually not my generation. My generation is like, look, we've been through we've been through too much already. What are our options? And for those that have had the ability to have the ability and have the financial stability to look elsewhere to live. Let's lighten it up. Why are we talking about
one more thing. I mean, yes, my generation, not your generation, but my generation is like, we're too young for this. We're way too young for this. No.
And it's just if y'all think we're going to work until we're 80, you must be out your hiding picking mind.
I would do everything in my power just to make sure my house and my vehicles are paid off, and I will sit right here.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Dominique.
What's up?
Hey, Dominique. It's summertime again, and clearly summertime, the beginning of summertime is where we have this yearly conversation with people obsessed with the idea that Americans shower too.
Yeah, we've got butt water. Yeah, we got water to throw away, man.
I was reading a post from the New York Post, and they cited a study that came out of the UK saying that showers daily are performative. And I said, why are we here? What you're telling me is you don't wash your butt. You don't use hand towels. And sometimes you don't use soap. When you do shower and you don't even want to do that one today, I would just like to know. People remembered or have any historical reference for what it was like when people were not able to bathe one today, and the type of death.
You're right.
That was prevalent during those times.
Also healthcare then was not exactly what it was now, but I mean, it all goes hand in hand. Yes, they're showers start on the decline, then diseases come back up, and then they go hand in hand. It's different. It's weird.
That here in Texas, there are billboards reminding people to make sure not to get certain diseases. I get it. That happens everywhere. But here in Texas, they remind you not to get HIV. Remind you. Like, you get protected. Don't get these diseases. Don't get HIV. Don't get syphilis. Don't get monkeypox.
Monkeypox, jeez.
And y'all don't want to shower? Somebody looked at some data in the city of Houston and said that it is financially responsible to spend billboard money on a sign that says, be sure to protect yourself so that you don't get monkeypox. Y'all don't want to shower every day? Get out.
Hey man, somebody thought it was important. So for me,
Monkeypox.
for me, living in a country where the culture, and that was the older German culture. The newer German culture, I wouldn't say was on par with us, but they were farther ahead than their older counterparts. But the Germans thing, they only shower like once or twice a week, and it smelled like it. And
I mean,
some people, and I had German friends, and it was cool. They were cool people, but like some days you're like, yo, I must have caught you like on day 3, right? Because I mean, at the same time, they didn't have on deodorant either, and you're just like, I need you back up, like 5 feet. It's coming in a little strong. We're still cool, but you need to back up because you have to understand. It's like, all right, that's your culture. Like they have German holidays as well, and they're a lot more frequent than the U.S. holidays. But when Germans have holidays or traditions, the entire country.
Hold on. Can we pause right there and just remind people that the U.S. gets shafted on holidays? Every other country in the world has like 3-4 holidays a month, and they get to take off and they get paid. They ain't got to come to work. They got to answer no emails.
And all businesses are shut. Yeah. All businesses are shut down.
They got to put their out of office. They just know we ain't coming in. We get one every other month,
if that.
Anyhow, keep going.
But and just like I was saying, all of it shuts down. Like I don't care how good Ruth Chris is. If it's in Germany, it's nope. They need a break.
Holiday.
It's a holiday. Everybody rest, take a break. But that's also probably due to their economy and how it works and whatnot, so they can afford to do stuff like that. But those are the things that you. So I've been in other countries where they don't shower the way that we do here, and I'm not saying that they don't have the same diseases, but also I'm pretty sure it probably happens at a lesser rate. And I'm not saying they're the model. I'm just saying that, it's just interesting, that we go back and forth about certain things, which is our culture, which is fine. Hey, you want to shower 2-3 times a day. That's definitely on you. But, that's some of the things where, you have to be careful when you wield that kind of power because, you have people who would literally probably drink our shower water, not like after it's been used, but like out of the faucet. Like that's clean enough for them to drink, but they don't even have that kind of water.
Oh no, I get there's a lot of water on the love. It's about to be summer. Please
hit the hot spots at least.
I was reading someone that said, I know that our culture showers every day, but I don't shower every day. I mean, after I go and work out, I just rinse off and then I, dry off, pat dry, and I put on my clothes and I go to work. And I was like, I'm sorry, come again? You work out every day and you use soap once a week?
Like,
come on. People be like, hey, I don't shower, especially when I go to the pool. I hop in the pool and I swim and then I hop out and then I'm good for the day. I don't call people uncouth heathens much. But that's Steve, are you casting judgment on people that don't use soap when they shower? Yes. Are you casting judgment on people that don't use hand cloths when they shower? Most.
Yeah. That's some weird stuff, especially if you share a household or share a bar of soap with somebody and you walk in there and you just.
I bet I never get in the shower and my bar of soap is not clean. If my bar of soap smells like you got to get out. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
I'm not an uncultured swine.
That is funny.
Dude, I promise you, somebody came to my house and they used my shower, and then I went to use my shower, and my soap smelled like somebody. I take them out of my house. You got to come back. Sorry. Ooh, we were friends.
Oh my gosh.
You ever picked up a bar of soap that smelled like somebody?
No.
I have. I'm trying to tell you. See, we laugh. We talking in all this theory about showers and cultures and all that good stuff. Pick up a bar of soap that smells like somebody. I'm gonna tell you right now. All that theory is gonna go out the window. You be like, get a hand cloth and some hot water. Dude, people are like, I don't even use hot water. And I get it. you ain't got to use hot water. I ain't a stickler for that, right? Unless you extra dirty with if you work out every day, chances are your crack is extra dirty. You need hot water. Please, warm water at best. If you don't like hot water, you don't want to strip.
Well, what about the people that like taking cold showers in the morning because it's like taking the polar plunge? This new thing people like to do.
I'm fine with you taking a cold shower in the morning. I'm not against cold showers. I'm for hot showers after you sweat it. That's all I'm saying. If you sweat it anytime during that day, then at some point during the day, you need a hot shower. That's I mean,
hot
and I'm
shower.
Not, man, we already ain't got no days. Now y'all want to shower?
Hey, to each his own, man. To each his own.
We gotta close this.
Just don't go. Don't go to Steve's house with that.
I was why they kick me off our front door. It's all the soap right on top of you. Get your best soap with you. Come on. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh my gosh.
Got my dub up here smell like acorn. No, thank you, sir. No, thank you.
Hot.
Kendrick just eat the Drake. Did you hear any of that today?
No, man. So I put it like this. Overall, like rap beat.
Okay, listen. I by and large agree because I only listen to part of Cole's song. I only listen to part of Kendrick's song. I only listen to part of Drake's song.
Right.
I didn't even listen to Ross's song or Meek's response. I didn't listen to none of that. But I listened to all 6 minutes and 42 seconds of Kendrick featuring Drake. When I say 6 minutes and 42 seconds, he had a 3-line verse, a 3-line chorus that he did twice in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. He raps for 6 minutes 40 seconds, tearing Drake apart. I don't do ASMR like Dominique does, but for this, I have to tell y'all, tore him a new hole. That's all I'm saying. Hey, listen to it. Listen to it. It is so bad. If you think what Pusha T did to Drake years ago was bad, it's bad as Addy Dunn.
I mean, yeah. Kendrick's a very good lyricist, so I expect nothing less than the best.
Yeah, but you're forgetting factor in the disrespect. It's, you know how you say something is dripping in something else? This entire song was dripping in disrespect.
I'm gonna have to take a gander. But yeah, like I said, like rap beefs, like I don't pay attention to that too much. I mean, even the J. Cole thing, it was like, okay, I listened to a couple of it. I was like, yeah, whatever.
I was content not listening to it. So a friend of mine was like, got it. And I listened to the first 30 seconds and I was like, 6 minutes and 11 seconds left. All right, I'll do it. After the first 30 seconds, I was like, okay, I'll take the rest, please.
Yes.
It's worth a listen to. It's called Euphoria. It's worth a listen to. Where are you on the X-Men? See, this is the part of the show where I toss up a softball and wait for the excuse that Dominique is going to pull out of his pocket and not knock it over the fence. Because he's laughing because he knows that I know that he ain't watched X-Men. But it's okay. Yeah, did you hear about the Deadpool? Did you hear about the Deadpool Wolverine reshoot?
Oh, reshoot! Now I saw the recent trailer.
Oh no! Yes, recent trailer's dope.
Yeah, but now are you talking about the reshoot where they added that the helmet now?
No. Okay, so after a movie has wrapped their initial film, right? Sometimes they go and they look at a rough cut and they go, "We need stuff." Yeah, they call the actors in those scenes back, or in scenes that have not yet been written. Once they're written, they call them back in and they do what's called reshoot, right? This is for the audience, not regular. They do reshoots and then they add them into the film to make the film make more sense, right? Deadpool and Wolverine scheduled their reshoots for the first 2 weeks of May, which is great because I think it comes out in June or something like that. Okay. I don't even know when. All I know is as long as it's not extensive reshoots, we're good. And so I'm excited. However, one of the things that I do know, or at least has circulated on the internet recently, is that Brie Larson and Tatiana Maslany, who we especially know as Captain Marvel and She-Hulk, got cut from the movie, and they're not happy about it.
I wouldn't be either.
Apparently, 2 scenes that had She-Hulk, Captain Marvel in Deadpool versus Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine, were cut at the insistence of Ryan Reynolds, who has full creative control over Deadpool versus Wolverine. No. Yes. You want to know why? Because if there's anyone that I trust to give me a good movie on this subject matter and this subject matter alone, it's Ryan Reynolds. Now, put him in another movie, I may not trust him as much.
What, like Green Lantern?
In this movie, he didn't write that. In this movie, with this character, I completely trust him. He has not failed us yet.
True. This is true. So, honestly, Deadpool is one of those characters that's synonymous with people like Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine,
yes.
and Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. Like they're synonymous. Like I'm sorry,
I don't. There will never be another.
Yeah, you can. You can put somebody else in those roles, and you're just like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa. But
yes,
there will be other T'Challas. But we all know when we say T'Challa, we mean Chad. When we say Iron Man, we mean Robert Downey. And Wolverine, we mean freaking Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah. Now, one thing that I saw interesting, and of course, the trailers are cut in such a way that it's supposed to give you something like maybe a mini story.
They digitally alter those trailers, so you can't.
Right. So yeah. So then when you see it, you're looking for certain scenes of the trailer, and you're like, wait, okay. But essentially, what was interesting about that trailer was some parts of it sounded like Deadpool was actually serious in certain parts. Which is unlike the character. Like, even if he's serious, he throws a crack in there and is like, it kind of diffuses it a little bit, but you know that he was kind of serious about it. But like once, and I forget what it was, but he said something. And I was like, well, he actually sound kind of serious. But who's to say that, doesn't get followed up with a joke afterwards? So
there should be an Oscar for trailers, in my opinion. Because cutting trailers is an art form. Getting people interested in watching a movie without giving away the plot, main character, surprises of the movie,
certain scenes.
Yeah, it's an art. I think
what is it, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, when Patrick Stewart showed up, and you're just like, wait, what?
I screamed at the movie.
And it wasn't just regular, Charles Xavier. It was Charles Xavier from X-Men, the cartoon, in the yellow wheelchair. Yeah.
Charles Xavier. I literally screamed at the movie theater. Somebody was like, shut up. I'm like, you shut up. On Sylvie's baby. He gave that moment was so rewarding.
Yeah.
And even though the movie has mixed reviews, that moment will live on.
Yeah. Like, James McAvoy has been a decent Charles Xavier.
He's been a good Patrick
Stewart. Yeah, but Patrick Stewart, that is.
Yeah,
that's Charles Xavier.
Yeah, and he did it in the yellow hovering chair as well. So they gave us everything on that.
And then, if you listen closely in that, they actually played the X-Men themes, part of the theme song too. You're like, wait, what?
Yes, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah,
but yeah, this movie, matter of fact, I'm trying to go to a premiere. Forget day one.
Yeah.
Forget day one. I don't want to hear about day one at all. I want to see it before it comes out.
Yeah.
Like a week.
I want to see it Thursday night.
Tyrese Maxey just hit a 3-pointer with 4 seconds to throw that game into overtime. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's next hour.
I'm sorry. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Hopefully this is just news about nothing, right? Hopefully Brie Larson's not, really upset. Hopefully it's just news, you know how they create stories that aren't real stories to get people eyes on. Hopefully it's that. But if it's not.
Also, like, my take on this, Captain Marvel has been slightly unbalanced. In one aspect, she's like one of the strongest Avengers. But then, on the other hand, the movie was good. for me, somebody who's been following Marvel.
The movie was good. Period. I know what you're talking about. I don't care about you fanboys that think
it was
men
good.
that think the movie wasn't good. You don't have anything. The movie was good. Period.
It's just she's been, that character has been unbalanced. Like, from one moment, it's powerful. Like, you have these situations where things happen and you're like, well, if she's that powerful, why didn't XYZ happen? And you're just like, but then you have to just remember, hey, it's for story purposes and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I do want to see.
They hadn't really decided how they wanted to deal with her power level yet, though, which is ironically part of the 2 scenes that were cut.
Right. And then that's where, yes, I understand, Ryan Reynolds has, full creative control. But I mean, hey, could it? And obviously, they could have been throwaway scenes.
Apparently, there were scenes that he was asked to include from Disney brand that he did particularly like. But yeah,
hey man, just I guess it's he's learning a lot from being the owner of Mint Mobile
and Rex.
Oh yeah, Wrexham, yeah.
That man is a billionaire, you know.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me rephrase. He is worth over $1 billion between Wrexham, Mint Mobile, Gin Company, acting.
And you know what's funny about that? When those Mint Mobile scenes come on or the commercials come on, he almost makes me want to be like, you know what? How good's the service?
Power Ryan Rip. Power Ryan Rip. Power Ryan.
Yeah.
And
how much is the service? I'd be willing to put my money on that.
Did you know that Venom Last Dance was scheduled for October the 25th, 2024?
You said Venom Last Dance? As in like the arch enemy of Spider-Man? Or anti-hero of the Spider-Man?
What in the world? Yes.
Oh, that's good. More movies.
Yes. I was unaware. My son Samuel, who is a amazingly large Venom fan, will be excited when I tell him. But I was not prepared for that. That means that they're almost done shooting.
Yeah.
The movie. If it's in October, let's see. May. 5 months. They got 1 more month with the shooting, 2 more months with the editing, and leave a month for reshoot. So yeah, they're almost done with the principal shooting of the movie.
Nice. I like that.
Wow.
I need more movies.
At any rate. I think we've done it. I think we gave the people what they came for today.
Oh, we absolutely do. I mean, when do we not deliver?
When do we not deliver? When we use DHL?
I
got beef with DHL.
I actually have a story about that. Yeah, I have a story about that, but yeah, I'll save that for another day.
I'll put that down for show notes for next week. Dominique's.
Yeah.
Dominique's. Hey, last thing, did you know that if you use an Amazon locker and Amazon puts the wrong stuff in your locker, they don't want it back?
I'm curious.
What is that?
I said I'm curious to find out how you know that.
Because of the address that I'm currently at, the subdivision is so new that they add an extra day onto shipping for Amazon stuff. And because I am who I am, like I've been with Amazon for like 13 years now. I like my stuff when I like my stuff. So I would like you to add an extra day. So a mile down the road at the gas station is Amazon Locker. And so I use the Amazon Locker when I want to get things here like overnight or like 2 days. So I use it a lot.
Makes sense.
Okay. Went there last week, opened up my locker. It was like 5 packages in my locker. I ordered 2 things. I ordered 1 thing. But here's the thing. I opened up the locker. I was like, maybe Sherelle ordered. I took it all out and closed the locker. Now the locker's closed. Can't reopen the locker. So I took the packages home. I didn't open them. I said, let me figure out what to do. So I emailed Amazon. No response. So I called. Amazon customer service. I waited on hold for 15 minutes. Talked to the lady, gave me my address. I said, I got packages that put in my locker that are not mine. How do I send them back? She said, oh, don't worry, just keep. What?
You know how much money you have to be making to be like, whatever. Who cares?
I said, what? I'm sorry. What do you mean? She was like, oh, yeah. Don't worry. That we'll just send them another one. Okay, great. What do you want me to do with this stuff? Oh, you just keep it.
So what was it?
It was a belt, X-Rich set, a mint chocolate dietary supplement for people that get acid reflux and something about
Mm-hmm.
the other thing. I was like, hey,
All
are
right.
you
Well,
sure? She was like, yeah. Like, you know how much money Amazon got to be making to not care if someone puts the wrong package in
the
the wrong box?
markup.
Good. You know how many packages they have to ship for that? They
The
said they did a
markup.
cost estimate. It was like, it's too expensive to even talk to you about sending this stuff back. Just keep it. We'll send them another one.
Jesus. Yeah, it's
The
just, to
numbers
them.
are
It's like, yeah,
astronomical.
to organize the return. It's like, yeah, it's going to cost us more to bring it in and send another one back out than to just keep it. Like, whatever.
Dude, she was trying to get me off the phone. I was like, I want to be like, are you trying to respect the phone? But you know what she was thinking? This is costing too much money as it is. Let me go ahead and get off the phone with this dude. But what do you have? She didn't even ask me what I had. She asked me what I have. She asked me the name on it. She didn't ask me the box. She asked me when I picked it up. She didn't even ask me my name.
Nice.
It's like,
That's awesome. That is awesome. No wonder Bezos was able to be like, oh, I got to give her how much? 18 billion?
yeah.
You want that in 20s
like,
or hundreds?
you want half? I'm still the richest man in the world. That's why Bezos's yacht has a yacht. This man has a yacht so big, he made them repair a bridge so that his yacht could go under the bridge. Like he gave some municipality like $100 million so that his boat could go under the bridge because they was gonna have to repair the bridge after his boat or something. It was something absolutely asininely ridiculous.
How fast can you guys move this bridge so I can get my boat through? 100 million, that's it?
Can you turn that bridge down so I can get my boat out and then put it back up? Send me the bill. I'll just pay for it. Matter of fact, here's $300 million so you can get started. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Anyhow. All right.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Please make sure you comment, join in the conversation with us. Like, subscribe, tell your mama, tell your cousin, all of them. Tell your mom and them, Pookie and them, all those people. And we will see you guys in the next episode.
We'll see you guys next week. Oh my God.
Man, I wish like those are kind of problems
I man say. How do you have boat? Have you ever looked up his yacht before?
No.
Oh my gosh. Oh, hold on.
Jeff Bezos yacht.
Yo, Jeff Bezos' super yacht is so big it needs its own yacht.
That's stupid.
Look, his boat is so big it travels with another yacht for the crew.
That's dumb.
This dude's got a.
But what's annoying? What's annoying about that?
$500 million boat that has its own support crew boat. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Did you see it? Did you find it?
I'm looking for it. Here it is. CNN. Oh, yeah, from 2 years ago. That's 2 years ago. Jeff Bezos' yacht, super yacht, is so big it needs its own yacht. Like, like I put it like this: as much as these yachts cost, and maybe this is just the problem is not having that kind of money. But like, I would only assume like I'd be ready for a yacht if I was willing to say, you know what, I'm done living on land. I will be living on my boat for the foreseeable future.
Can you hear that? I don't even know if that's the big yacht.
For $400 million, it better be the big yacht.
It's all unreal. Jeff Bezos especially some of his recent indulgence. So let's give Jeff Bezos flat. Owning your knockers, no denying this indiscipline of architecture. It's 136 meters long.
This dude has 2 helipads.
Yacht.
Your yacht should be we have.
The luxury boat comes with 2 helipads.
Yeah.
2 decks. And a sprawling cinema where you could watch Amazon 36 so basically Jeff Bezos black. So and a sprawling cinema where you could watch Amazon 36 guest cabins.
36 cabins.
Yes. It also runs with the living space is large. What comes to place of use?
Look on your face. Says it all.
Mahogany dining table that looks like. But if you're raring to do something while you're on board and not just stare at the view, right here in the boat, flying box features 13,000 square foot spa spanning 2 decks. It's sea lobby.
I have never been more in the face of eating the rich than about the shop.
Like, obviously, we're not. Our tax laws suck right now. Like, I mean,
Bro,
like even as a billionaire, like it says you back $400 million. Like,
look, click that link right there. Click the link I just sent you, and then scroll down. Don't look at the video. Scroll down to the picture. This nigga one
onto the picture.
He's got a 25-person dining room in his yacht. Dining table.
This is part of the reason why I said, like, a yacht like this, I don't live in America anymore. I don't live there. For what? I have everything on my boat. My Amazon packages, I roll up somewhere and somebody brings them to me.
On the other,
yes, I get my Amazon packages flown in. I'm speechless. Like, I'm okay with it now because he's not like the head of anything, but like as the head of something, you shouldn't be able to buy anything like this. And then on top of that,
there should be a cap on personal wealth. There should be a cap on personal $1 billion. That's it. Once you reach it, you're out. You out of the game. You won.
Well, so I've always said, I've always said, once you get to a certain amount of money, the government should like approach you and be like, hey, you've won at the game of life. Congratulations. In exchange, we're going to give you this card that says you can just have whatever you want because you can buy it anyway.
And we're going
to take your money to put it to quote unquote good use, assuming that they're actually going to put it to good use. So like, we're going to take your money and put it to use. Thank you.
$100 billion down there. $100 billion.
Like that card, you flash it anywhere and they already know, like, oh, okay, here you go, sir. Like, man could buy it anyway. Like, there's no point. Like, you don't need you basically drop off. Like, you don't need a credit score. You flash this at any dealership. You flash it at DMV. You know what? You don't even need a license plate. You don't even need insurance. You don't need anything. Just do what you want.
It would take,
interesting.
Back in David Beasley was UN World Food Program Executive Director told us it would take an estimated $40 billion each year to end world hunger by 20. What we're saying is, Jeff Bezos, at least for next year,
for a day,
could end world hunger. I'm talking about. It's talking about for the year.
Oh wow, that's actually kind of cheap. $40 billion to end world hunger. Why hasn't it been done yet?
That's the question. This is worth $200 billion. You telling me we can't tax them $40 billion and be like, all right, y'all can eat.
World hunger's done for the next year. On to the next problem.
You can bank Bezos.
Like, it's like, dude, imagine a tax write-off if you cured world hunger for the next year. So, interestingly enough, I'm having issues with, like, we stopped the recording, and yet it's still kind of ticking upwards.
I saw that, and I was like, he stopped. Did you just see? You want to leave? Yeah. You know, I make that why all the time. Yeah. Everybody must be recording right now. Yeah. It's all good. We can wrap. We get up tomorrow. Clean back down. But these games, the Knicks lost in overtime, and that's not good for the Knicks. They need to close that series. Well, the question is, do they have enough firepower? I don't know. The question, can they close this series out? I thought they were able to. Clearly, I was wrong because this game, I'm correct, was in New York. What you don't want is to come back to New York for Game 7. No. Nothing about that. I don't like anything about that. You know what I mean? Too much up in the air. Yeah, go do your thing, man. Go do your thing. So, man, okay. All right, man. Talk to you later.